Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Garcia. Sorry I'm out today, but I thought I'd make a little video to help with your lesson. So for today, we're talking about your surface area of your cylinders. So I'd like your goal today to be able to find the surface area of a cylinder if you're given certain dimensions. And don't worry, we'll go through a couple examples so that way you know exactly what we're talking about, and that should help you with your homework tonight. So let's talk about the steps that you're going to take to find your surface area. Your surface area of your cylinder is basically just the area of all the different shapes that are used to make the figure. Remember your nets from yesterday? We talked about how your cylinder was made up of 2 circles and 1 rectangle that circled that figure. Just like with your water bottle, if you take off the wrapper, it's a rectangle, or if you take off the soup can label, it's a rectangle as well. So here's the net of your cylinder. You've got your 2 circular bases, and so to find the area of your base is just like what we did a couple of weeks ago, using your area formula, which is your pi radius squared. Now the rectangle is considered to be the lateral face of the figure. We call that the lateral area, hence why you see the LA in parentheses. Since a rectangle has the area base times height, we need to figure out what the base and the height is of this rectangle. Well, because this rectangle wraps around the cylinder, the base of your rectangle actually is also the circumference of the circular base, which we know is 2 pi r. The height of the rectangle is also the height of the cylinder, or the distance between the 2 circular bases. So for your total lateral area, you'd have the formula 2 pi r times h. Now the surface area is basically just a total of all of the areas of all the shapes that you've been finding. So your surface area would be your LA plus 2 of your bases. Now keep in mind we only wrote down the formula for 1 base up at the top, so we need to make sure to double it when you find your total surface area. So your formulas are as followed. To find the area of the base, you're doing pi r squared. To find the lateral area, you have 2 pi r times height, and then your surface area is the lateral area plus 2 of your bases. So let's try an example. Here's a cylinder that has a radius of 4, and it has a height of 12 centimeters. So if we were to find the area of the base, we're going to use your formula, pi radius squared. So you'd have pi 4 squared, which we can simplify to 16 pi after squaring 4. And that's 16 pi centimeters squared. Now let's talk about your lateral area. Remember, that's the area of the rectangle, but one side of your rectangle is the same thing as the circumference of your circular base. So using your formula, we have 2 pi, your radius is 4, and we're multiplying by your height, which is 12. Now one thing to keep in mind, don't be confused about your height being a horizontal. Your height doesn't always have to be a vertical line if you're looking at your picture. This is basically a cylinder that's plopped over on its side, so your height is really the distance between the 2 circular bases. So no matter whether the circles are on the top and the bottom or the left and the right, that 12 is still your height. So simplifying your lateral area, you've got 2 times 4 times 12, which is 96 pi, and again, centimeters squared. Don't be confused that because we're doing a 3-dimensional shape that your area isn't squared. You're still finding the area of a 2-dimensional shape. This is part of your net. So now that we have the lateral area and the base area, now we can find your total surface area. So again, your surface area is a combination of your lateral area plus 2 of your bases. So if we plugged in what we had, your surface area is equal to the 96 pi plus 2 of your bases. We have 2 16 pi's. So simplifying all of that, 2 times 16 is 32, plus 96 is going to give you a grand total of 128 pi, and again that's centimeters squared. So your base was 16 pi, Your lateral area was 96 pi, and a grand total of everything is 128 pi. Okay, let's do one more. This one's just a tad bit different from the last one, but pretty much your process is all the same. The only difference with this one is what that 10 centimeters is for. Notice that line goes all the way across your circle. So that means that your 10 centimeters is now your diameter as opposed to your radius. Your 6 is still your height. Now in order for us to find the area of the base, remember we need to figure out what your radius is. So if your diameter is 10, cut that in half to get your radius, which is 5. So to find the area of your base is still pi radius squared. So putting in your radius value of 5, you'd have pi 5 squared. Simplify the 5 squared to give you 25. So that's 25 pi centimeters squared for the area of your base. Now your lateral area is still that rectangle that's going around your cylinder. So we have to calculate the circumference of your cylinder. Now again, this time you're given the diameter. When you have circumference, you have two versions for that formula. 2 pi r or pi times diameter. Because again, 2 radii is equivalent to 1 diameter. So when I'm putting this into my formula, I'm using the pi times diameter times your height. So your lateral area is pi times 10 times your height, which is 6. Now this one is a cylinder that's going up and down, so notice how that 6 is a vertical line, still indicating the distance between your two circles. So simplifying your lateral area, 6 times 10 is 60, so that's 60 pi centimeters squared. And again, don't forget your units. So surface area is a combination, again, of all the things that we just found. So keeping in mind that it's your lateral area plus 2 bases, not just one. So plugging in what we have, you've got your surface area was 60 pi for the lateral area plus 2 25 pi's, 2 bases. So 2 times 25 gives you 50. 50 plus 60 is what's giving us the 110 pi, and again, centimeters squared. So to go over what we just did, your base is 25 pi centimeters squared, your lateral area is 60 pi centimeters squared, and your surface area is 110 pi centimeters squared. Now notice, all of these answers have pi in them. That means that they are exact. If the questions ask you to give a rounded answer, then you want to make sure to use the pi button in your calculator. So for example, if you wanted to get your surface area for a rounded answer, you would type in 110 pi and hit enter in your calculator, making sure it gives you a decimal answer. Otherwise, if the directions don't say, leave all of your answers in terms of pi like you see here. I hope that helps. I have all of my notes online too, so if you want to have a written copy in addition to the little video here, you're welcome to go ahead and get those as well too. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.